Happy Easter. Happy Easter from a windy, stormy, rainy Massachusetts. Quiet. Spent a quiet Easter. And I guess I could say with all honesty, spent a quiet Easter. Like, I guess the majority of people in the world could say, had to say the same thing. They spent a quiet Easter inside doing different things. And I had a real quiet Easter. And I was looking back. I was thinking back because that's what you do when it's quiet and reflecting, reminiscing, whatever you want to call it. And growing up in the Caribbean, Easter was my favorite time of the year. Used to have Christmas, followed by Carnival soon after, then Lent, where you had a, when you're growing up, you had to give up something. You had to kind of suffer in Lent. And then it had Easter. And Easter was like a rebirth. Everything was great. It was a joyful time. I love Easter. Easter weekend since we were kids, because school was closed. There are school holidays in the Caribbean for 2 weeks over Easter. Easter weekend itself is a 4-day long weekend in the Caribbean, and people just glad to be done with Lent and everybody out. People go to the beach. It's the finest time of the year in the Caribbean. It's sunny, no rain, windy, and it's, people who don't live in the Caribbean will say that is what they picture the Caribbean to be as Easter time. It's just the nicest time. And I remember one year I had family. We went with friends on our boat for the weekend up to the Grenadines. And I spent my Easter in the Grenadines and Easter Sunday in Mayro in Salt Whistle Bay. I mean, people in the Caribbean know these places. So we decided to go to Mass Easter Sunday morning. And typical Caribbean time. We asking everybody in the area what time is Mass. Nobody could say. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, all kind of different time. So we decide we will go early, 7 o'clock, and see what, at least we can't be late. And we went to Mass. We had to go up a mountain because the church on the top of the hill overlooking this island. And we walk up there, and eventually a guy with a truck pass and pick up people. All nice things. We reach up in this church, the top of the island, the church wide open, wind blowing, things nice. We see a guy wandering around. Turn out he's the priest. We get an old talk with him. We ask him what time church started, because we feel early. He say when everybody reach. That is the time church started, Easter Sunday, one of the biggest days. We should have known from then that that day would have been a special day. So we there and we talking with the priest. And the priest decide, he said we should practice singing because the choir gone to another island for Easter. Like there's some choir competition or something. I ain't really clear. But there are no choir. So he decided he going to practice singing and he pull out a guitar. I don't want to say not much, but this man can't play guitar at all. But he very enthusiastic. So his music, and he give us hymn books, and we start to sing. And people gathering and singing. After a while, I realized more and more people gathering, but still, he just decided, well, we're gonna start church now. And he gonna get his robes and whatnot and start mass. But he had to play the guitar and make everybody sing. And then put on the guitar and make his preaching and thing. And carried on. So it's the best mass I ever see in this great location. Halfway through the mass, a young fella reach, a young boy with an African drum, and decide he gonna do some accompaniment to the guitar. Well, I ain't know if I'll ever. A guitar and an African drum is the music that we listening to and singing hymns on top of a mountain in the Grenadines, Easter. And I'll tell you something. I think that was, looking back now, that was a spiritual moment, a spiritual time in my life. That was, and at the time I didn't notice that, but that was a moment. I said, I on top this mountain, Easter time with a young boy. And he about 10 years, now about 14 years old, beating a drum with a priest who wasn't supposed to be there. He from some other island, playing a guitar. He cannot play the guitar. And everybody singing, and the majority cannot sing. And it was the best mass I ever went to in my entire life. The closest I ever feel to God on top this mountain in the Grenadines. 2010 was the year. And I remember thinking, standing up by the door because the church tiny, so everybody can sit down. And I remember thinking, I said, what conglomeration of circumstances passed to encourage me? Look where I reached. I standing up on Easter Sunday morning. What amount of circumstances and things had happened in the past that all these people gather in this place? This priest not supposed to be there. He was originally from, I can't even remember which island, but he was giving us his whole story. And I said, look at this weird group of people on top this mountain singing without a tune guitar and a drum and having like the best time. To me, that was a spiritual time. And you know, you don't think much about it. Going back down the mountain, church done. Fella with the truck come pick up some people and take them in a truck with some bench nail on in the back and take people back down to the boats. And some of us walk down and whatnot. But a real simple, lovely day is the most peaceful I think I ever felt in my entire life. Serenity, I think, is what they call that. Happy, serene, happy. Best time ever. Simple things. No setup, nothing. Simple people, simple life. Nothing major. Things where you expect rich and big, fancy stuff. I've been in some real nice churches and stuff, and that little church on top of that mountain with all the benches shaking and all kind of thing was the best atmosphere I ever had. And I just say, look at how all these things add for me to here and meet this guy and meet this and have a spiritual moment because it's 10 years ago. So yesterday now, I realized that I had a spiritual moment back then because things changed in my life after that. But at the time I was having the moment, the spiritual moment, I remember feeling really peaceful. But in no way I would say that was a spiritual moment. No lightning hit me. No man in big robes come down and started giving me information. You know, it's 10 years later, I realized that that was a spiritual moment, a time that changed me, make me shift my direction a little bit, a tiny direction to reach where I was. Because that is also the year I put myself, I was overdoing it. I put myself in AA that year. But I was thinking all these things, just that one little shift and a spiritual moment that didn't plan for. So I thinking all that yesterday, and I saying, well, look at how different that is 10 years ago. Who would I ever thought 10 years later? You think my wildest dream, I would have been in a house locked down with my whole family over Easter, no party, no nothing, studying pandemic, and people, X amount of people dead all over the world, people sick, big bacchanal, whole economy shut down. When I think about that today, I start a study, I say, but this Easter, I realize you could think about the amount of circumstances that had to come forth to lock the whole world down. This is the first Easter I could say that I do the same thing as everybody else. Well, the majority. I in a house locked down. Nobody down the islands, nobody on the sea, nobody on boat, nobody on party, nobody doing nothing. Everybody home. Easter. Big joyful time. Well, I was joyful. And I have a kind of serenity here that I'm very happy I with. And I think that when people look back at the Easter of 2020, they're going to realize they had a spiritual moment years later because you was home and you was happy. Maybe, I don't know. I serene, I happy. And maybe they might be thinking and saying, boy, what I could do, look at this, we locked down here, the whole world under a disaster. What change I could do, boy? And maybe I get a mindset change and you shift. And I realize that you can't see the spiritual moment unless you look back, after a good while passed and you say, wow, look at that, that would change me. So I wonder like about next year, 5 years, 10 years, when we look back at what went on in 2020, if we ain't going to say, better or worse, whatever is changed, as I say, you end up where you end up, no matter what, whatever decisions you make. You might look back and say, boy, 2020, with the COVID-19 virus lockdown, that was a time to think and study and look where I reach now. That might end up being one of your favorite Easter moments ever. So just want to let you know that is my, in my contemplations, that is what I end up coming out with. You understand? That is what the world was something, and now it going to be something else, but it can be good. No matter what is adventure, we don't know what coming. You never know. So I continue in Easter Monday. I know it's a holiday in the United States of America, but I declare it a holiday for myself. I even give my daughter a day off from homeschool, and she real happy. Big celebrations in the house. No school today, because that is the best. So I'm going to carry on with my Easter, and I will talk to you fellas later, Thursday or so. Enjoy the rest of your Easter.